Thank you for joining us. This is Mary Yanez, and I am the director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College, and this is Mature Living. So thank you for joining us. We've been around for a long, long time on YouTube now that we want you to watch. And so we want to reintroduce you to Elizabeth Cordova, who is one of our wonderful volunteers for our Senior Adult Program. She's been in plays. She plays the Virgin of Guadalupe in our Christmas pageants.
Christmas program, yes.
Yeah, Navidad on the Border. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your professional work right now that you're doing, and your hubby and what you all do.
Well, I'm Elizabeth Cordova, and I'm a great friend of Mary's for many, many years. We have done lots of programs and, like you said, dancing and doing events for the seniors. I'm a senior now.
Yes.
So I'm going to get more involved with you, much more involved. I have a degree in business, and with my husband, we have partnered up to do Herencia, my heritage magazine here in El Paso. It's homegrown, it's local, and we're going to have 14 years of distributing
And producing
Herencia.
this wonderful
Yes,
publication.
Yes.
Wow, this is a beautiful. I remember I came out in one in 2023.
Yes, for Mother's Day, remember?
That
We
was-
honored you as a mother.
Wow, that's wonderful. And now a great-grandmother.
Oh, congratulations.
Tell me a little bit about your work and what kinds of, how can we help as a community to advertise in your magazine and your distribution?
Oh, absolutely. We honor and we promote mom and pop local shops. Everyone that is advertising here is a mom and pop local shop. We promote them. We get the word out as well, what they do. We have restaurants, insurance agencies. We have even Avon, and they promote themselves in our magazine. Yes.
And tell me what you feature. What are some of the feature stories that you've run?
Everything has to do with promoting positivity. And we put consejos, we put things that help people on an everyday basis.
Is it in English or Spanish?
Right now it's in Spanish, but we are going to launch in English. We want it to be bilingual to reach more people.
And how many publications do you print?
We print between 25,000 to about 30. We reached 30,000 El Pasoans.
And where do you drop them off at?
Everywhere. East, west, northeast,
Okay.
Canutillo, Anthony as well.
Wow, you're reaching quite an audience.
Yes.
Quite a viewership. And you brought one. Can you kind of spread it out?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that is a beautiful. What are you featuring in
This
April?
was last month.
Uh-huh.
And we were just featuring La Primavera, springtime.
Yes.
We're entering springtime. And like I said, for May, we're going to do our anniversary. We're going to do something special to honor not just the publication, but the El Pasoans, nuestra cultura.
Yes. I noticed that your husband, Wesley Cordova,
Yes.
is a pastor. And tell me about your work together.
He began this back in, about 14 years ago. He wanted to reach the community, make a difference, encourage people. It was a way of being a ministry to the senior citizens, to the young ones, to the Generation X, to the millenniums. And he personally writes every article. I'm starting to write, and I will be writing the English part of it.
Wonderful.
And we'll feature things about the community, our senior citizens, the young generation. We want to incorporate everyone.
Yes.
Because everybody is important. But my main focus is the senior citizens.
That's it.
I have a special place for them in my heart, as you know.
Yes, absolutely. You've always been just a joy to have as a volunteer, as a partner, and we certainly want to partner with My Heritage, Herencia.
My husband was the one that named it. He thought that this is the way to leave a legacy, not only for his children, but for El Paso and for the coming generation.
And most El Pasoans have family that have been here for many, many years. a lot of decades. There's grandparents, great-grandparents, tatabuelitas, you know, and tatarabuelitas, and great-great-great-grandmothers. And people leave for professional, seeking professional life, but they come back because they need to come back to take care of their parents or their tias. And it's really important that Herencia, that's a beautiful heritage name. What is one of your favorite feature stories that you've written, that Wesley has written?
One of my favorite ones was back in, I'd say about mid-2000, approximately there. He had served in Saudi Arabia, and he had served at the Sahara Desert. And he had an anniversary of what it was like to live in that area, and just make El Pasoans know that people are suffering in other places.
And we're fortunate here.
Very fortunate, very blessed.
Yes, very blessed. And I think that people that may want to feature a story about a veteran or about
that would be amazing.
You know, November is Veterans Day that we celebrate in November. Well, that might be a good feature for.
I think it might be a good feature to feature and honor one of our veterans.
Yes.
We have great supporters. We have people that have collected these since the beginning, and that really hits a heartstring for us. We want to continue. We're going to go digital, but I still like to feel the paper. I still like to read.
Yes.
You know, I still like to hold my paper in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and read. But we just would like that our community continue to support us. We welcome new businesses, as always. We concentrate on mom and pop shops.
Yes, and everything that would be the local shops.
Yes.
Locally owned and operated.
We have a senior section, How to Live Fabulous.
Oh,
yes.
Always
Absolutely.
positive, huh?
Always positive. All our articles are positive and family oriented. So nothing of bars or anything like that, just family oriented events. We highlight sometimes our businesses, how to live after a divorce, if you have a loss in your family, how to survive those things.
We have such wonderful instructors
at
the college that would be good contributors.
We welcome them. That would be fun.
And we just interviewed recently. We interviewed Aurora Anaya Dyer, and I think she's a journalist. How to journal? Because
fantastic.
by journaling you leave something, a treasure for your family members. A poem, a short story, a story about when they were, you know, grandma and grandpa were growing, the younger years, or that would be kind of a nice story to add about how important it is to journal.
It is.
Helps us
absolutely
with our cognitive development and continue our healthy brain, body, and spirit. I would love to help you contribute finding those special writers.
That would be wonderful, Mary. Thank you. Yes.
A guest
speaker, a guest writer.
A guest writer section. That would be wonderful. How can people get a hold of you and Pastor Wesley Cordova?
I can offer two numbers. My number is 915-248-7017, and his number is 915-300-4722.
And of course, we have to give your name again, Elizabeth
Cordova.
Very good. Elizabeth, it's been a joy talking to you today. Do you have an email? That would be a good thing if you want to give me email.
Yes, Elizabeth.delgado777@gmail.com.
Well, I certainly want to get involved in helping you. I may not be able to help with a lot of writing, but I have connections.
Thank you, Mary.
And contacts.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That would be helpful.
Yes.
And I do want to help. I want this to be a continued success because next year it'll be a quinceañera.
It'll be a quinceañera.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you so much for being here. Any last thought?
No, Mary, thank you so much. When I come on board with you here, it's like talking to an old friend. So thank you so much for having Herencia, my heritage here.
And you leave us some of those in our senior adult program office at the
Yes.
college and here at EPCC.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay. We'll see you next time that you join us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all in a little bit with more guests.
I was talking to somebody and then I started babbling. Al called the Alzheimer's Association.
They've had some wonderful classes.
There was a support group there too.
Our primary referred us to a neurologist. The new working diagnosis is vascular cognitive impairment. But we will continue to be part of the Alzheimer's Association because they've been so supportive.
Caregiving isn't easy.
Reaching the Alzheimer's Association is.
We have a good interview coming up with Ray Mancera. He is the LULAC National Vice President of the Southwest, and he's here to talk to us about an initiative that started, I guess, in May in 2016. And it's an initiative to bring a law school to El Paso. And that's a big, big initiative. That's a big challenge. And so he's going to share with us his work with LULAC and what he does also for a living, and tell us where we're at as far as bringing a law school to El Paso, which would be a really, really great thing. Thank you for being with us, Ray.
Thank you for inviting me, Mary. You're always so involved in the community. Thank you for thinking of us and to talk about the law school.
Absolutely. This initiative started back some years, but I want to find out more about you and your work with LULAC at the national level, state and of course local, because that's how LULAC operates. Tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing.
Sure. I would say that in 1981, I had a group of friends of mine that were in LULAC, and they came and they asked me to join, and I said, "No, you guys are crazy. You're protesting and you're
Rebels.
I don't like that. You're rebels." And so the second time they came, I told them, "No, I'll give you some money for scholarships and for whatever you need." And the third time is when they mentioned the scholarships, Mary, and that's when I went, "What?" And they saw that I was interested, and that's when they said, "Well, if you join us, we can make you chair of the scholarship committee." Well, I joined LULAC, and that was in 1981.
Wow, that's amazing. And just to explain LULAC, what does LULAC stand for? League?
Sure. LULAC stands for the League of United Latin American Citizens, founded in February 1929, 20 years after the NAACP, our sister organization. And since then, we have been so much involved in ensuring that the rights of Hispanic Americans, Mexican Americans, Latinos, however you want to call yourself, that you have the same rights and privileges that any other American has. And unfortunately, our country has a long history of discrimination, of abusing people's rights, and just because of their skin color or they don't understand the language. So LULAC was founded with the ideals of protecting the rights of those that are not very versed on the rights that they have. Yes. So that's what LULAC is in a nutshell.
And kind of around the same time, the American GI Forum was formed as well to protect the rights of veterans that went to war.
GI Forum, so LULAC has had an increase in membership, a decrease. It's just that the waves go up and down. But we did notice that right after the World War II, we had a strong interest. Many of our veterans coming home, and they had served their country, and yet they were not being allowed to participate in their country, and it was discriminatory. And that's why the GI Forum was formed in our sister organization. And many of the GI Forum members belong to LULAC and also belong to the GI Forum.
And they weren't allowed, the soldiers would come back from war, they were not allowed to be buried in the military cemeteries. They were sent home and the families had to bury them. Now, the initiative, to start a law school here in El Paso, I think that's a big challenge. But what prompted you and to get this initiative started to bring a law school to El Paso?
Two things. One is that I had seen an initiative by a group of El Pasoans to bring a medical school, especially spearheaded by Senator Elliot Shapley, saying, why is it that Texas Tech has a medical school in Lubbock, which is 25% of the population of El Paso, and they go the first and second year, and then we pick them up on the third and fourth year, and whereas they receive the funds for a medical school, and yet we're the ones that actually put in all the work, and so that is what started their. I was listening to what he was saying, and the second thing that happened was that I came across an article of LULAC that in 1989 they filed a lawsuit called LULAC versus Texas, where they went to court and took Texas to court, saying that they were discriminating in allocating funds to be spent for higher education along the Texas-Mexico border. So that meant that the Rio Grande Valley, El Paso, they were not getting the master's degree programs or the PhDs, and the money was going north. And that LULAC filed a lawsuit, and LULAC won. We won the right. We showed they were discriminating. It was going to other areas. So when I read about that article, that case, I thought, well, and let me finish on what happened actually. So Ann Richards comes in to governor, and she says, we're not going to appeal. They are right. We were not allocating funds along the border. So as a result, they allocated $750 million to be spent solely along the Texas-Mexico border. And so UTEP, at that time, Dr. Natalicio, talked at length in different forums that I got to listen to her, saying that as a result of that lawsuit, we were able to go from one PhD program and that we had for years to now we have 22 PhD programs. And she attributes that opening up the gates to the LULAC lawsuit that was filed.
Now, what challenges have you faced from organizations or entities in trying to start this law school in El Paso? Why do we need a law school?
That's right.
In El Paso.
So I'll start with the why. It's a good question. Is that yes, we are excited. We have 22 PhD programs. We have a medical school now, but we are missing the Juris Doctorate, the doctoral in jurisprudence, JD, and so we have seen that many of our children have to leave El Paso to go to law school. And unfortunately, many of them do not come back. They graduate and they stay there. So we have to talk about a brain drain. They leave and never come back. So we started thinking about why is it that now we have a medical school, a pharmacy school, a nursing school, PhD programs. Why not the law school? And I kept in my head over and over. So I decided to ask LULAC to support, El Paso LULAC to support the initiative to bring a law school. And I'm happy to report, like you said earlier, that in May 2016, we went before Commissioner's Court, and the following day on a Tuesday, we went to City Council saying LULAC is going to start an initiative to bring a law school to El Paso. People thought we were crazy. What do you mean? And some people would challenge, in fact, Mary, saying we don't need a law school. Oh. And others would say, well, you're crazy. It's a pipe dream. We'll never get one. And I said, well, that's what people have always told me over the years of my life. And I always said, let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that LULAC started that initiative.
So you've gotten the support of legislators and the committee that you formed. We've been working very hard. What's the status now?
Yes.
For coming now to 2024.
Since we had filed a lawsuit against Texas, I decided right off the bat in the first few months, I said, I think we better take off the name of LULAC, because we need to be nice and play, be nice at the legislature when we go before them, because LULAC just resonates with some of those members that they don't like to hear about it, because we do sue and we demand and we scratch and pull and do whatever we got to do to get our rights. So we restructured it to be called the El Paso Law School Initiative,
Very good.
Where it belongs to the community. The community is the one that's going to come together And I'm happy that many El Pasoans from all walks of life came into those meetings. We were having them precisely at El Paso Community College. You all were always gave us a facility. Every month we would meet. So what we did, Mary, is that we invited the community, and we had the attorneys, moms, dads, people from all walks of life. And one of the things we also did is that we went to all the school districts and asked them for a resolution in favor. We went before City Council, Commissioner's Court, and asked them for the resolutions. And so once we got all those resolutions together, we were happy that Lina Ortega in 2017 filed the actual bill on the House, and on the Senate, it was filed by Jose Rodriguez. In that year, 2017, nothing happened. And as you know, the legislature meets only once every 2 years. So we had to wait till 2019, and nothing on the Senate happened. But on the House side, we were able to have a hearing and they voted favorably. The Higher Education Committee in the House under Lina Ortega, they passed it.
Yes.
But it never reached the floor. In 2021,
It's hard.
We actually, the House bill made it out of the committee, and it went to the floor, and it was voted favorably to create and bring a law school to El Paso, and it was sent over to the Senate. By then, we already had Cesar Blanco as a senator. He was not able to get it out of his committee on the Senate. So we saw that it was always stifled at the Senate. So we were able, very successful in 21. In 23, the same thing happened. But it's very difficult. We will not give up, Mary. We will not give up. I know it can be done.
Yes.
So we passed it on the House. We just have to wait. So the status right now is that Lina Ortega was able to secure a $250,000 feasibility study.
Okay.
And that money was allocated. They have started, UT El Paso put together a committee of different people in El Paso, leaders in the community, and to study the need of a law school. And so we were interviewed. They're mandated to finish the study in November of this year.
Okay.
We feel confident it's going to come out positive.
You know, there's been a lot of thought, and one of the things that I liked when I would hear these discussions about a law school, and you know, we have a dream in a sense that will come true someday, is to have it an international law school. Tell me about that idea.
Well, you made me smile.
Oh man!
Because when we started the law school, the idea, there was a gentleman that came to one of our meetings, and he is the one that uttered the word international law school. Wow. He said, you know, we don't need another cookie cutter law school. I think we need to focus on the international. Well, that rang a bell, and since then, when we would go before the legislature, sure, they would give us only 3 minutes to speak, and I could see there 15 of them in the committee, and they would be writing, answering phone calls, but they were not paying attention to us. But the moment that I said, Mary, what we would like is an international law school, they all of a sudden stopped, and they looked at us, and I thought, that's the key. So the angle that we're using is that we would like this law school to be an international law school, the premier international law school in the United States, the only one in the U.S.-Mexico border, specializing in international affairs. Mexico, Ciudad Juarez has a law school. They're very excited about having the law school in El Paso, and that is resonating tremendously. So when Dr. Heather Wilson was appointed to be president of UT El Paso, and we met with her, we told her about the international law school, and you could see that smile just go up and say, oh my gosh, what a hell of an idea.
Yes.
So that has been very key in the efforts that we've done, that we would like an international law school.
And you know, there's many students that attend UTEP that come from Juarez, Chihuahua.
I'll be honest with you, I have already had a lot of joy knowing that what we are trying to do has been well received. Yes, there's a few naysayers. We don't need more knowing that our children do not have to leave El Paso to go to law school. And it doesn't matter, it's not our children, husbands and wives, because even Brian Kennedy, our current senior representative, at the age of close to 50, 60, went to law school and graduated. And there's many folks that are that age. That age is not an issue when you go to law school. So, and also just knowing that it's another opportunity that you have to practice, or rather get a law degree. You know, Mary, if somebody had told me back then that going to law school did not mean that you were going to be defending criminals, I would have gone to law school.
Yeah.
Because when I was approached in junior year to go to Texas Tech, I said, no, I don't want to go to law school. I'm a business person. And so, and they insisted that I needed to go to law school, and I did not go. Why? Because I didn't want to be defending criminals in
You thought
court.
that was the only.
I didn't realize that when you have a law degree, you can be anything you want to in life. In boxing, Top Rank, Bob Arum, the one most successful promoter, is an attorney. Don King is an attorney. The president right now, the electric company, is an attorney.
All walks of life.
The number of people that have law degrees on television, they're not practicing law. They do have a law degree, because the law degree is a different type of a way of looking at life, the rights and privileges of people, what rights you have, what rights you don't have. It's not that you go working on a body as a doctor or engineering or any other discipline. This is really just
across the board,
humanities.
It just touches across the board,
That's
all aspects of careers.
That's right.
How I know that you still need a lot of support. You've got to move it forward. What can people do to help you?
Right.
What do you need from us?
Right. There are two people that I do want to mention that have been instrumental, that have been with me every step of the way, and that's Janet Montero, an attorney. She works for the Texas government, so she takes time off to travel with me. And the other is Oscar Ramirez from Council 8. Every time we had to drive to
Meetings
to Austin, he was our driver. I mean, you're talking about 9 hours.
Oh my goodness.
And so we would take off one day before, testify at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then that same day drive back. So I want to do a shout out for them to all that have been true blue every step of the way. We are going to start the Law School Initiative meetings again, because I think we're starting to go into the next phase, now that in November they're going to finish a study, and because we will not stop until we get a law school. Yes, if somebody was to come in with an endowment and say, here's $5 million, $10 million, we would have one immediately, because the legislature...
You win the Powerball, you could do...
That's right. I mean, so if anybody out there has a few dollars that they would like to donate to the law school, we'll put your name up there on the law school.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There's two ways you can reach us. One is my cell, 915, obviously. It's 532-2444, 532-2444. And the other one is my email. It's Ray Mancera at LULAC.org. Ray Mancera with a C, Mancera at LULAC, LULAC.org. You can reach me there. We need everybody to come and join us and be part of this great initiative.
Yes, good luck to you on your initiative.
Thank you, Mary.
And thank you for starting this, for LULAC,
That's right.
the League of United Latin American Citizens, to start this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record.
For the record.